time for Edgewise on your hometown radio station, WMMG. The phone-in talk show where you're given the opportunity to express your opinion on local and national topics of concern. This is your chance to get your word in Edgewise.
Any views or opinions expressed on this show by guests, phone callers, or the host of the show are strictly those views and opinions of the guests, the phone callers, and the host of the show, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of this radio station, its employees, or sponsors of the show. Good morning. We're sitting at about a minute past 11 here this morning. The show's called Edgewise. By gosh, by golly, welcome into it. I have seen some hostesses. It's going well, don't you think? Yeah, I can't find the right word. I'll make them up. Anyway, I've seen some posts made by our guest on that lovely thing called Facebook. And I didn't realize it until he dropped by and we had a little visit. I think it was Monday morning. This gentleman has been a guest in the studio as a Civil War reenactor, and they actually brought some of the, refresh my memory if I'm not right, when you guys were here, you wore some of the authentic clothing that you guys wear, and I'm like, man, that's just really cool looking. And you were like, oh yeah, well, let's test that theory, radio boy. So the next thing I know, I've got the hat and this coat, jacket, whatever the proper terminology is for that thing. I don't want to tell you, you see these guys out there doing the Civil War reenactment, and David Huff and some of those guys do the Western stuff. You don't realize this ain't stuff from Walmart. This is very authentic. It was very heavy. And as you were leaving with our visit the other day, one of the things that you did was like 105 degrees or something.
Yes,
plus the clothes.
Yes, Brandenburg event 2 years ago. It was over 105 degrees, and it was pretty daggone hot.
So not only do you get to do that and have fun doing it, it's weather like that is a great diet plan, I guess, right?
Yeah, my hat's off to all the guys and girls that go out and do that.
But anyway, his name is Eddie Frankie, and it's good to have you and a plethora of friends on the show here today. And I think we're even going to get a phone call or two from somebody out in California. But anyway, the thing that caught my attention, and it's been over a week ago when I saw the post, you are currently starting to work on a project about local legend and supposedly a witch, as the legend would have it, Leah Smock. Correct?
Yes, that's the legend, that she was a witch.
Right.
I questioned some of that and decided to write a script on it, and put my little spin on it.
Now, this isn't your first rodeo either, is it? You just didn't wake up one day and go, yeah, I think I'll make a video about this.
No.
You brought some other stuff to the table first, right?
We're currently in fundraising mode for a project called OTO, Vagabond Story, a trilogy.
Right.
Myself and Harley Morris, we, back in May, made a movie, a short 20-minute movie on ODO. Harley and the Louisville Film Collective that came together and gave me enough equipment and sound equipment to be able to make this short movie.
And it's cool because I run in the music circle and the radio circle, and used to run a couple other circles that they threw me out of. It's a story for another time. But anyway, it's great when you've got an idea and a project, but you need gear and folks come together because just in the short conversations you and I have had, I've learned so much about the filmmaking, how many folks there are around that do this, and how this community of folks tend to want to work together as opposed to work in competition with each other. And I mean, it's probably the dumbest thing I'll say ever, but it just makes it so much easier when you work with everybody for your project or his or hers or theirs or whatever, doesn't it?
Tommy Baker was my cinematographer on Odeo,
Okay.
and he is actually producing and making a movie on Eastern Cemetery up there in Louisville right now.
Okay.
So there's a website, the Louisville Film Collective, where all these people get together and throw out ideas, and if someone needs equipment, they need lights or sound, you go on there and you talk to them, and they try to help you out. So it's really a neat little group.
And then they, down the road, are working on a project, they need a hand with something or help tweaking the script or here again, gear, and then you get on board.
Mr. Morris was the same way. You know, he throws his talent out there to anybody that needs help. And then, in turn, they come and help him on several of his projects that he's doing.
I love it when a plan comes together and stuff works like that, because we did the Louisville music market for so many years, and there were a lot of folks out there that worked together, you know, for the end goal of their bands, but then there were some folks that were just in heated competition with each other, and it's like, no.
Right.
There's plenty of room and everybody can work and all that sort of thing.
Kentucky has a lot of great talent out there, and they're
man.
producing a lot of great movies, and it connects everybody because you have music involved in music, you have special effects, editing, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, and Kentucky here recently passed an tax incentive plan that really encourages the industry to come together more into Kentucky than it has been in the past as far as big productions. I think I'm saying that correctly,
okay.
But they have passed a tax incentive for the film industry, and a lot of folks is hoping that, you know, this is going to help put Kentucky on the map as far as big film projects.
The headline in that for me is the government did something actually useful for some folks.
Yay.
Well, happy about that.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
But Odeo.
But may I say, don't get used to it. It's probably not going to become contagious or anything. No, we love all of our legislators. Anyway, how did you first get involved in this? And we've talked about Odeo, and we'll talk about that project before we get to Leah. But you were, we'll go back here in time. You were doing some reenacting and
yes,
hooked up with
local
some folks
reenacting that ended up. Doug Key from Springfield got involved with Fred Owen, who was doing a production of the Hatfields and McCoy Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm.
It was just before the History Channel's Hatfield McCoy with I can't remember the actor's name right offhand, but
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, but
maybe.
Just before it came out, Doug called me up and said, look, I'm needing some help out here. Can you come out here and participate as a reenactor? So me and Loretta went out there, and we got all dressed up, and it was about 14 degrees that we had to lay on the ground for about 6 hours to be in the movie for about a split second. So I got a real good taste of what it was like.
You boys and girls don't do this stuff in good weather, do you?
No,
it's 5 degrees or
14 below
or
zero.
14 below, and
Yeah.
you can not only see your breath but carry it in your hand.
And then from that, we moved on to some other projects. A fellow out there in Bardstown, it was doing a movie called The Old Winter. John Wells, yeah. John Wells is the one that called me up on it.
Okay.
And we went and did that one. And then just one thing led to another, and I ended up meeting Harley Morris on Facebook. Me and him started talking, and he had a project that he was working on, and I went and acted in it for a minute or two, and then that built that bond between me and Harley. And then when I started this UDO project, he was a definitely high pick on my list of who I needed.
No, the one you just mentioned, UDO? Odeo.
Odeo.
this is, you used the descriptive term vagabond. We've also used the term homeless. Tell us a little bit about this project first, because there's you sent me a link, and I've seen that. It's very, very interesting.
Audio is part of a 3-script series that I wrote that revolves around a homeless mom and daughter.
Okay.
The mother is called Lafia, and Maritza, will be calling in shortly,
Right.
she plays Lafia. Mackenzie Jones plays Otio.
Okay.
And they are in a battle with the injustices of the city, the different injustices of the homelessness feels that are happening in the city, like being denied a place to live, being put out away from warm homes and buildings and just all kinds of things.
We can't
the
really
script is
help you on
involved.
this level, this, or this level. Good luck with everything. Oh, by the way, you can't stay here. You have to go over here.
Exactly.
And then,
exactly.
Oh, wait, did I say over there? Wait, no, I mean over here, because a convention's coming to town, and we just don't want to. Exactly.
And you see that happening in the United States now. There's a lot of good agencies out there that works really hard to try to help the homeless.
Sure, absolutely.
But the poor and the homeless, there are becoming so many of them that the churches and these organizations are just struggling to try to keep up with the numbers that are out there. So Florida, I think there was an incident here recently in Florida where they passed a law where it was illegal to feed the homeless. And it's gotten bad at times.
Okay, now just think about that phrase for a moment. Somewhere in Florida, or pick a location, but you mentioned Florida, somebody actually passed a law that says it's illegal to feed the homeless.
That's almost like saying in Gatlinburg, don't feed the bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. And you could draw, you might.
My question would be, what will these homeless people do? I mean, it's not like they're going to turn around like a grizzly and attack your family and rip you open. That's about as heartless as you can get.
The sad
Absolutely,
thing about
and let's first of all, we've skedaddled way past. First of all, introduce your friends here, because we're going to get in a conversation, and you're going to hear voices that I really have not introduced folks to. It's okay. No, it's not your fault.
The quiet one beside me, since everybody in Radio Land can see me, the quiet one beside me is Loretta.
To his left.
And
All right.
the gentleman is Jeff Armstrong, and he is an actor in the audio, and will also be an actor in Leah's.
And we have the paparazzi here today, who is.
Yeah, that's her. That's my paparazzi right there.
Paparazzi. Who has a name or not? Are you incognito?
Stephanie Harden.
I'm Stephanie Harden.
Okay. Hello,
Solicited photography.
Be like at the
I
meetings.
like stalking these guys.
Be like in the meetings. Hi, Stephanie. Okay, thanks. Okay. Anyway, hey, the ones that get it, get it. The ones that don't, Anyway, but to bring some of this stuff to light it's a great thing, and there's so many folks out there that want to save the world, and we can't do that, but we can help one person, we can help 2 people, and if enough folks get together and do that, and then we're going to change some things and fix some things. The thing that worries me and that bothers me, and this has been since 2008, there are folks that have been homeless virtually all their lives. I'm concerned for those folks. I truly, truly am. But they, over the years, have developed skills and know how to adapt to this situation, that situation, something new that comes up. The folks that worry me are because the bottom fell out for X amount of people. when some stuff crashed, and you know how life is these days. We live 2-3 paychecks away, maybe from the street, and that happened to some folks. So what became a lot of folks' concern, I think, mine included, is what about the new folks that are out there that just, through no fault of their own, all of a sudden, we lost our house. We have no place to live. We're living in a car, and they're going to take that in 2 weeks if I don't find a job. They're lost ball in high weeds.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, so we need to, as a society, I think, a little soapbox in here, try to figure out what to do and how to do it. But it's a huge, huge problem. And the longer we sit and go, hey, somebody needs to do something, or somebody should do something, or wouldn't it be nice if somebody, we need to put actions behind those words. You know?
Normally, we see homelessness as the person sitting on the street corner with that we're driving back and forth to work.
Right.
We see every day begging for money.
Right.
We see in the media where there's a lot of negative parts about the homelessness, drugs, alcohol,
right.
abuse, so on and so forth.
And that's part of it.
And that's part of it. But there's also
something else you see in the media too that I've seen stories like this. Is they won't necessarily do an expose on the reality of it. They'll find the one dude that actually has a place to live and is doing quite well, but he's out there with the sign and the thing and makes $1,000 a day sometimes. They put him on the news because he's out there ripping folks off, lying about his living situation, and that affects everybody who truly is in need out there, you know, and we remember that story, but maybe not the story 2 days later about, you know, the war veteran, it doesn't, homelessness doesn't pick and choose.
When I was researching the homeless issue, I was really amazed on the actual numbers that are involved. And a lot of it is misleading because of the fact that many homeless migrate depending on the weather. Right. Up north, they tend, you know, if they're able to migrate, they'll migrate down toward the south during the winter, right. and so on and so forth. But what amazed me most of all, I guess, was families and military, ex-military personnel that are homeless, that there's organizations out there trying to help them, right. But, you know, the numbers are just, like I said, increasing.
Absolutely, and you start, and it's a never-ending problem. It's been going on for quite some time. I may wind up homeless because of the boss here if I don't try to pay a bill or two of his. So we're going to do that real quick and come back, and we're going to start talking about Eddie Frankie and Friends' latest project, which is about local legend Leah Smock. Is she a witch, or was she a witch? Was she not? I don't know. Up for debate, and probably always will be, but we're going to find out more about the story that he and his band of merry friends are going to tell about Leah Smock right after the break. Call if you have questions or comments. I've heard about Leah for years. 270-422-3961, 3962, 1-800-203-4175. See you on the other side of the break. Show's Edgewise. Welcome back to it. Several guests in the studio here today. Leading the way is Eddie Frankie. Now let's get back to the thing that I saw the post. Actually, somebody said first, before we do the other first thing, I do believe we have a caller. Let's bounce over to this real quick. Good morning. You're on Edgewise. Hi, you're on Edgewise.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Maritza. How you doing, Eddie?
Very good, Maritza. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Good morning, Steve. This is Maritza. I'm calling from Los Angeles to help my buddy here, Eddie Frankie.
I have, he graciously dropped by at my request Monday, and we chatted, I don't know, for, gosh, Eddie, what, an hour and a half, something like that. Just kind of hanging out. And he had so many great things to say about you and your skills and abilities. You guys have not only acted together, but wound up editing a project for whatever reason together. And now we're talking today about the latest project you guys are starting to work on concerning Leah Smock here down around the Battletown area here in Meade County. Thank you so much for calling the show. How did you get hooked up with this guy?
My journey with Mr. Frankie here started about in January. He approached me to use my image in his, at the time, was a novel script of what, it became the short film to which we're hoping it will become a feature. He liked an image, a character I created for another movie. I'm an actress here in LA, and I've been involved in the film industry for many, many years, in pretty much in every capacity, whether it's as a director, as a producer, as an editor. But I really love being an actor more than anything. Like in any industry, you will find yourself being involved in all capacities, but acting will always be my first love. So he saw an image of a project I had done previously in which I did this hag woman, and that's how he envisioned La Fia to be. So that's how it all started back in January. He asked my permission to use the image to portray the character in his script novel, and the next thing we know, 5-6 months later, we are shooting a trailer. And now we're talking about, let's make the trilogy.
So it just one thing, as the old adage goes, one thing led to another.
Pretty much that's how it is. One thing leads to another, and it was the beauty of technology. Had it not been for Facebook, that he'd never come across that picture. So it was all about, whether it's coincidental, whether it's casual, destiny, who knows, but brought us together, and it's been a great collaboration. We seem to agree in a lot of ideas and how to focus on the project, so it's really nice to work with people you get along. And when I went to Kentucky, Louisville, to film this short, it was one of the most memorable and wonderful experiences I've ever had, and I'll never forget. And I'm so looking forward to coming back. And we already have 2 more projects that we're discussing on doing, so it's going to be great. Going back, visiting new friends, my old friends, and hopefully making new ones.
Absolutely, and the thing about artistic folks, here again, one thing Eddie and I were talking about the other day is we're normal folks, but we cut from a little bit different mold, on some levels. But my question to him was, okay, so how in the world does a good old boy from Meade County get hooked up with somebody from Los Angeles? He was kind of telling me that story and what have you, and it just Facebook gets the credit and sometimes the blame for stuff.
Yes.
But you wonder how folks did this years ago before we had all of this technology and all of this kind of stuff exploded. Tell us a little bit about Leah, the project concerning Leah Smock. Now, you're going to be involved in this on how many different levels?
Yes, we are again joining forces on making Leah Smock, The Legend Awakens, to see it come to a feature film. So this time around, we're going to do the same. You learn a lot from the first experience. So this time around, we're going to do a different process. We're going to create a small trailer to create interest, and with the main characters, which is going to be the Leah character, as she is today in the present and she was in the past. And this time for the short, I will be helping as a editor and producer, and then coming back, moving forward to hopefully early next year, we're going to be doing the film in which I will be portraying Mimi Hayes, the medium, born from Chile, who just, happens to be writing a book on the Leah legend. So it's going to be really interesting because Eddie did, again, what I love about his style. He's combining reality with fiction, and he's always so good at researching. I mean, the facts and history he's presenting, they are just fascinating to me. So it's not going to be, all make-believe that way. It's a matter of this is what the folklore is already telling us. Let's write a story around it. And we're also inviting BDPS, the Black Diamond Paranormal Society, to be themselves, as they are very, very prominent in Virginia as a paranormal investigating team, and they're giving us all kinds of support and technical advice on how this is really done. So it's going to be a really, really fun and interesting project.
That's the thing I love about projects and movies like this, especially if it's something that I've kind of got a little bit of knowledge. I've got just enough knowledge about this, I guess, to make me dangerous, one of those kind of guys. But it's a legend, and it's hard many times when you start dealing with a legend to separate the fact from the fiction, because unless you're back there walking in that time, in those shoes, with those people, now some of the fiction, you just know it's fiction, right, guys?
Right, definitely.
You just know.
And that's something
absolutely.
I want to
we
thank
cannot
you, Steve.
recreate the
You
time.
hooked me up with Gary Fisher, who's
Right.
a local Leah historian from Brandenburg area, Mee County, and me and him have been talking. And I'm almost up to the point of being too scared to talk to him because when I wrote this script, I did very minimal research on it. And I was talking to him last night, and he was telling me some of the stuff that Leah did and happened to Leah that's actually in the script. So that really gave me goosebumps. And he says, oh, that's just Leah coming out. I mean, that's the way she is. She comes out on the radio. She comes out on computers. She comes out on your phone, on your equipment.
Right.
And it was kind of freaking me out because of the fact that here is something that I wrote that I had no idea was a part of her life. It's about a Native American character. And he's telling me, well, she had a Native American influence in her life. And that really gave me goosebumps. Wow, I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know what? I believe every word you're saying because I'm starting to get them here myself. And Jerry, I tell you what, if Jerry Fisher does not know something, Jerry knows the men or the women that do know the thing. I mean, the circles that this guy runs in and the folks that he's brought into the studio with him that I met through my friendship with Mr. Jerry, it's incredible, and I've learned so much. But this particular tale just really does fascinate
So
me.
I'm pretty sure that Maritza was talking about the Black Diamond Paranormal Society. The person that runs it is Rodney Shortridge. And when he comes out to shoot the feature, they've been talking that they want to go down to the gravesite. That's Rodney and Loretta and Maritza and probably Gary and Stephanie and Jeff and all of them, and everybody's wanting to go down there. And I'm thinking, I'm going to stay at home that day. And
You feel a headache coming on already?
I feel a headache coming on.
Well, Eddie, what they say, you have
Because
to
I'm
face
afraid
your
I'm gonna
fears,
lose
so
that.
you have to be there front, leading the way.
Yeah, okay, so in other words, she's saying no, not buying it. No, not going to be sick. You've got to stomp down there in that neck of the woods with everybody. What before I let you go, because I know you're busy, even though it's early out in your neck of the woods. Just briefly, what are some of your other credits, Miss Maritza?
I have a movie coming up that I am playing producer and lead actress on it. It's my own movie this time. I'm really excited to be part of it. Written by Keith Rommel, called The Lurking Man. That I'm scheduled to shoot next year. I'm also having 5 feature films I'm involved with as an actress right now. And one of them, for a funny coincidence, most of them are in the horror genre. meaning every time you introduce a supernatural element to a story, and it's not sci-fi, it becomes a horror film. So it just happens to be I'm doing 5 horror films right now. So all because the genre is so broad. So it's really, really fun. And, yeah, I love keeping busy. I just finished writing a script, and I finished editing the short for All Two, the movie we just released. And, yeah, there's not a single day, a minute goes by that, you're not busy. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
One of the busiest folks, obviously, in L.A., and please do not be a stranger to us throughout this project. Our intention is to obviously stay in touch with Eddie and this whole band of actors, actresses, producers, editors, everything that y'all do. And kind of following along with this project it's very intriguing.
Absolutely. The family grows. So yes, thank you for having me, Steve, and Eddie. Good luck on everything. Have fun.
All right, Maritza, you have a good day too, and I know you're going to be busy all day today.
Thank you.
Sounds like the girl is busy about every day.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much, Maritza. Nice to meet you and talk with you. Quick break, folks. We're going to come back and find out where we go from here on the legend of Leah Small. It is Edgewise. Wow, 38 past already, and we are literally coast to coast, ladies and gentlemen, today. And turning to my right, your left, back to Eddie Frank, and part of the thing with doing any kind of project is raising funds and generating money to do this. Now, you were telling me about a project, and might have been ODO, the work that you've done on it so far. You raised some money, and I'm thinking movie project. I'm thinking tons and tons of money. But you rattle off this whole list of folks that worked with it, and you did this and did that, and the cost was amazing.
Very minimum.
Because you don't have to pay
the 20-minute short. The feature is going to be a little bit more complicated, but
you don't have to pay these people $1 million for this big, huge feature film that's coming out in the theaters, one near you, next March. This is local, and you guys would like to keep it as localized as possible.
Oh, if we could get sponsors for Leah and keep it local, I would just love it. And again, it doesn't take a lot of money. It just they get credits on the International Movie Database. They get the names up on the movie and the credits.
Right.
And there's a lot of good points there about it. It's like cheap advertising and in a movie. So,
and you get the story that, yeah, I'm involved in a movie.
Yeah.
Really? What part do you
get the bragging rights?
I don't. I just, I wrote a check and my name's right there.
Hey, one of the proudest moments I ever had as far as the industry goes is when I saw my name come up in the Hatfields and McCoys.
Wow, yeah.
At the end of the credits, and it was like, oh wow, I'm actually in a movie.
Oh yeah, it's like the payoff for the work that you do, because you did it. You're on the film. You sit there. You watch the rough cut, you watch the final edit, but to see the credits roll by, it's kind of like when
it made those 6 hours on 14-degree weather ground worth it.
Absolutely. It's like the dude, the artist that first hears their song on the radio, even though it might be some clown like me playing the song, it's their music, and it is actually on a radio station, which is actually worldwide now. Thank you, app. They get us in Ubiquistan. I mean, we're just everywhere, kids. But that's part of the payoff, though.
And the biggest thing that I want to do with Leah when I wrote the script and got everybody together and let them see the script was to make sure that I did justice to Kentucky and Meade County. I didn't want us to be in a bad eye outside of the community. And I think I did that with the script. I try to keep true as form as possible. And Jeff, he is going to be head of the Black Diamond Paranormal Society character.
all of our guys are going to be dressed basically like the Geek Squad. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Except for Rodney. I think Rodney's going to have more of a shirtless, well, not shirtless, but sleeveless look about him. When you see Rodney, you understand that
Former
point.
WWE wrestler.
Yes. Rodney's right out there with
That looker actually is former WWE.
That's right.
And I would trust going out in the woods with Rodney, exploring these graves and these, finding these different paranormal stuff, except for the fact that, I'm just a big chicken at heart, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sick that day.
He's scared.
He's scared. He's a little scared.
Very beginning.
But you know what? You're scared of this, but you're not scared of jumping in the middle of it and getting your feet wet. And Jeff, so how long have you known this guy and these folks? And we may have touched base on this several conversations ago. But how did you guys get hooked up? And what's your fascination with the whole story?
The beautiful young lady sitting to my right is my cousin, Eddie. Blessed her life, and I think she's blessed him by coming into his life. And by that, she said, "Hey, my cousin works as a barber down in Breckenridge County. Why don't we go see him?"
Okay.
And
which is a really nice way of going. You could use a little off the top. Back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we started this friendship just right off top of the bat from them walking in the barber shop. And they caught a couple of clips of a few little things I've done and said, "Hey, we got projects. Why don't you be in them?" And I've been blessed to watch this thing start from almost a small breadcrumb into, my goodness, what it's going to actually be is mind-boggling. And the awareness to homelessness with Oltio is going to be phenomenal. And what I see out of Leah Schmuck is going to explode as far as this is going to have more of a mature approach, I think, instead of just a slasherish, silly storyline. This is going to have some real depth to it. It's going to have some emotion to it. People are actually going to be drawn to it for several different reasons.
Right.
The least of which is not the writing on it, because he's already blown my mind on several of the scripts that I've seen.
And that's one thing Eddie and I were talking about Monday when we were sitting here chatting is, Leah Smock, witch, everything. I said, but I don't want to do this around Halloween because it's much more than that. It's not your typical snaggletooth, green face, pointy hat, and your little dog too. No offense, little fella, but there's a small Chihuahua in the studio with it. Actually, and it's a deer Chihuahua.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yep.
I've only seen deer Chihuahuas. Some friends of ours at West Point where we got Sheldon. Yes, his name is Sheldon.
Yes, she is a deer-head chihuahua.
After Sheldon Cooper. Yes, you guessed it. Big Bang, absolutely. But I just haven't seen that many of them. But anyway, I digress. Going down the rabbit trail here. But we're looking forward to kind of following along with you and this project. There's the dog now. He made it on the radio. What's the dog's name?
Miss Jewel.
Miss Jewel. I'm sorry, I'll start calling him a her now since he is a she.
Well, Steve, she does have a dress on.
Well, it's true. Just didn't look that close,
So everybody calls me a boy, and I'm not a boy.
I'm not I'll bite you. I'll show you.
Put some bows or some braids in her hair.
Little bonnet, But anyway, just really, really excited. So, other than fundraising, are you done with the script? Are you talking, like you say, to Jerry Fisher and some of the folks? Are you done with it? Are you still working on certain aspects?
For the most part, the script's done. Right now, what we're working on is next month, I plan on getting a group together to do the teaser video.
Right.
What Marissa was calling the little mini short.
Right.
It's a teaser video. And it'll have some of my main characters. Stephanie, off to my left.
Our paparazzi.
Our paparazzi. She has the camera equipment that I will be using to shoot this little short.
And the daughter.
And the daughter. Her daughter, Kenna,
Kenna.
is going to be the young Leah. My OTO script involved a mother and a daughter that went through a process of seeing the young OTO move up to a teenage OTO.
Okay.
And this script is kind of like that too. You have the young Leah. And I thought this was important to the story, and this is where Gary's really helped me out a lot, is to get the concept of what it was like for the young Leah in the 1800s, early 1800s.
Right.
So her daughter's going to be playing the young Leah, and it's pretty cool.
And we're going to tell you, before we get out of here, how you can find Eddie Frankie on Facebook and how you can keep up with this project over and above just what we're going to tell you about it. Let's go to the phones again. Good morning. Appreciate the call. You're on Edgewise.
How about you, Brother Steve? How you doing?
Doing great, David. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Mr. Eddie Frankie. This is Dave. How are you doing, bud?
Pretty good, David. How are you doing? Long time no see.
I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited for your project. And I've seen some of your stuff this morning on Facebook about it. It looks very, very interesting. I got to say, Eddie is a very creative and talented guy. And his imagination goes way out there, which is what you need for this kind of stuff. And it's awesome. So I hope everything turns out good for you on this, Eddie, as always. I've had the pleasure of working with Eddie on set of things and also reenact with him. But he's a very smart guy. And I'm behind him 100% on this project. So when do you start filming, Eddie?
We're going to start filming sometime next month. I haven't set a date yet, but David, I haven't done a shout out to David yet, but David does Bound in Blood series that he's been working on, and I've had a really great time with working with David and doing the Western shoots with him.
Yeah, as I said, Eddie, you're a class act, and of course, we're still working on Bound in Blood. And of course, I don't know if Eddie's considered a good guy in Bound in Blood or bad. I haven't really thought that through, Eddie. I think you and I both are kind of bad. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that, but
Kind of a thin line sometimes, isn't there, David?
yeah. So, I think in Bound in Blood, Eddie and I both kind of walk a fine line of good and evil together. We both have a past, so. But I've always had pleasure working with Eddie. He's a barrel of fun and a lot of laughs. But he's also, when it's time, he is serious and he is on his game when it comes to this kind of stuff. But Eddie, big kudos to you on this project. I hope it turns out well. And if you ever need any help, buddy, you know where I'm at. So I'm gonna hop off here, Eddie. But full support from me, and I hope to see you soon, brother.
Thank you, David.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Longtime friend David Huff, Six Guns Entertainment. Great Western reenactors, man. If you get a chance to see these boys out there shoot them up, they robbing the bank someplace. Just about every weekend during the summer, man. I tell you what. So the story, as you were telling me a few days ago, the story is, we've got another call we're going to take here in just a second. The story is kind of spans her life, and Leah did not live a long life. She died 20s?
22 years old.
22 years old is when
such a young age, but she had such an impact on so many different people, good and bad, according to folklore.
And a lot of folks can cram a lifetime worth of living in just a very few years. Appreciate the call. Good morning. You're on Edgewise.
Hey, Brother Steve, this is Zoe's mom.
Hi, Zoe's mom.
Hey, how are you? Is that Mr. Jeff Armstrong you're talking with?
Yes. It is Jeff Armstrong, yes, he says. He says he's nodding. That dog don't hunt in radio.
Colin,
There,
gosh.
there you go.
Well,
This is great.
I was just wanting to call and say anything that Jeff's involved with. Zoe adores him, so it's going to be awesome. Everybody ought to stay tuned and really keep up with this.
Feeling is absolutely mutual about that girl. She is amazing. And quite frankly, so are her parents, both of them. I'm very impressed with both of you guys. Mr. Drain will be there Saturday night, by the way.
Awesome. All right, well, you all take care, and I've enjoyed listening to the show.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Zoe's mom. And I tell you what, we have known at this radio station, we have known Zoe since she could barely form syllables, and we knew then that something was out there waiting on this girl. She's a very, very incredible little
Just looking at her
child.
face, you can see that she's going to go someplace with that ability of hers.
Absolutely. Let me see. That is not for us. Okay, and so next month, hopefully, I'm going to start shooting the short. Is that the right?
The teaser.
The teaser.
Yes.
Okay. And then that'll be released, through the medium of Facebook?
Right. Right now, on Facebook, there's my site called Leah Smock, The Legend Awakens. And anybody that's interested is going there. Just go there and click like on it. And
I did that.
yes. And you can keep up with all the activity that's going on. And when we shoot the short, that's where it'll be released.
And when I will try to magically work a little bit of magic and see if we can establish that link not only on our website, but make a Facebook post when I get out of here today. That way folks won't have to hunt too far. They can just hit our Facebook page if they've already visited our Facebook and liked it. And if you haven't, visit our Facebook page and like it. Whether you like it or not, just like it. Helps.
There you go.
We appreciate it. Appreciate it a bunch. And we will keep you guys in the loop on this project. I love sitting down and talking to local folks, whether they are musicians, whether they are authors or publishers or filmmakers or involved in any aspect of the arts. There is, as you mentioned early on in the show today, there are so many talented people in this area alone, and in all of the stuff I just mentioned and more. It just blows my mind.
I think that one of the biggest misconception people thinks is they got to get out there and they got to be seen by Hollywood and everything. But getting out there on these small projects and being thrown out on YouTube on these small projects is what I'm calling them. These little shorts, they get a lot of attention. And then when you do a feature film, it's hitting Walmart or Redbox or Netflix, and you're getting your name out there. And regardless of what type of person you are in as far as being an actor or a musician or a lighting person or a sound person, it's getting your name out there.
It absolutely is, and because of social media, it used to be jumping Mr. Peabody's Wayback Machine and go back in time here a little bit, kids. It used to be, if you wanted to be in the film industry, you pretty much needed to be hooked up with somebody on the coast.
Yeah.
East or west, didn't matter. You don't go to Indianapolis, Indiana, or Louisville, Kentucky, or Meade County to do that. Now, thanks to all of the internet stuff, websites, social media, all of that sort of thing, everybody can network. We don't have to buy plane tickets. And you can do the work, put the work out there, and folks can see it. And you don't have to knock on as many doors and get kicked in the teeth as much from all of the major players. And who knows how much talent that we have never been exposed to, that we could have had this thing called social media had hit several years earlier.
Well, it's like John Coulter out there from the Bardstown area. He has a movie, The Old Winter, and it's showing in Bardstown and Mount Washington and, just a little bit of everywhere.
Okay. Got one more call we're going to take, and then, unfortunately, I got to wrap things up here. Good morning. Appreciate the call. You're on Edgewise.
Yes, I was going to ask a question of the gentleman. Have you been down there to the grave?
Oh, I was down there back in my early age.
Yeah.
Back in my younger days, but I haven't been down there recently.
Yeah. Well, it's been years since I had a couple of old cowboys take me down there once, and it was kind of interesting to listen to the stories from Larry Humphrey and Bean Bennett. They were some great guys. They took me down there, And I was also wondering, the funding for this kind of program, is it pretty difficult to get it going?
Glad you asked.
It can be. It really can be. It can be challenging. Just like with any organization around that are seeking funds for whether it's school soccer or football or band, you have to go out and you have to talk to people and get them to help you.
Where are you going to film this at?
It's going to be here in Meade County.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'd be interested in being a bystander or a participant to help out, because I think that'd just be awesome. I know you read the articles about Cowboy Bennett when he done those with the Courier Journal and stuff.
Right. And if you go to our Facebook page and click on Leah Smart page, we'll throw out when we do need people, and you can come out and be an extra and whatever.
Yeah, that would be very good. Anyway, I know you guys are running short on time. I just want to thank you, and you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the interest and the phone call. Love it when we can generate stuff like this. Yeah, if you just need somebody like stand around and look scared, I'm good at that. I mean, dude, I've been married 3 times. I've got that look down. I got that look down.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. That right there. That's it.
They take me back to Leah's grave at nighttime, and they won't have to. I won't be active.
Well, yeah, there will be the big underwear burning ceremony right after that happens. Thank you guys so much. I know you guys are busy with everything that you got going on and trying to put this together. But thanks for having Marta and the phone call there from out in L.A. Looking forward to actually meeting this young lady in person. And it was great to meet you guys and to revisit some old relationships. And thanks for not bringing really, really sweaty clothes in for me to put on this time. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having
Got my
us.
own on today. But anyway, thanks so much. And the name of the web page, the Facebook page again is
Leah Smock, The Legend Awakens.
The Legend Awakens. Hit that up on Facebook. I'm going to try to establish a link on our Facebook page. Thank you guys so very, very much for coming.